Have you ever wondered how to hit your weight loss goal? Well, I would imagine if you've spent any time trying to lose weight, that has definitely been forefront on your mind. I hope you'll stick around because that's what we're going to be talking about on this episode of LiveFREE TV. I'm Emily Quisenberry, and I'm a holistic weight loss coach. And I help women learn how to heal their relationship with food, learn to appreciate their body, so that they stop yo-yo dieting and lose weight and live healthy, fit, and strong for good. I'm super glad that you're here. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure that you subscribe through my YouTube channel and through my blog so that you're notified when I release a new episode. I do that almost every week, and I put a freebie in the episode so that you can take what I teach you and actually activate it and put it into action in your life. Today's freebie is the 30-day best practices worksheet. You can pick that up by clicking on the orange button on my blog below this video, on YouTube in the description box, or you can simply go to emilyquisenberry.com/27. Now, this worksheet is going to actually take what I'm about to talk about and create an actionable plan for you to implement in the next 30 days so that you begin to see progress and you begin to move towards your goal in your weight loss. Okay, so let's get into the content. So when you decide that you're going to lose weight, you decide on like what diet you're going to follow. You generally decide how much you want to weigh, and then you pick an end date, like when you want to have that weight off by, and then you get after it. Now, that would be considered an outcome-based goal. That is something that we're super familiar with. This is where I want to go. That's the end goal, and that's my focus, is that number. Well, the problem with that is that we cannot control how quickly we lose weight. We just can't. There's too many variables to say, I'm going to lose 1 pound a week or 2 pounds a week and have that be my focus. When the outcome goal becomes our focus, we actually don't have a plan or a template or a strategy in how to get there. We know where we are and we know where we want to be, and we're going to take this diet and this exercise program and just do it with the hope that we're going to get where we want to go. It's almost like taking spaghetti, and just throwing it up against the refrigerator to see if it's done. There's a much better way to do this that's actually going to relieve the pressure and the stress of trying to hit a certain weight loss amount per week or to hit a certain goal weight by a certain date. So, again, we know where we are. We know where we want to go. So there is a gap there. What are the steps that we need to take to get to where we want to go? That would be the process. And the great thing about the process is that we absolutely can control that. So what do I mean by that? Well, there's several things that we know that are necessary in order to lose weight. One is being in a calorie deficit. Number 2 is eating enough protein. Number 3 is eating 80% whole foods, 20% fun foods, and 4 would be strength training. Now that's not an exhaustive list, but that's like the top 4. Now, let me ask you a question. Can you have control over the amount of calories that you eat each day? Yes. Can you have control over the amount of protein that you eat each day? Yes. Can you have control over the amount, like the type of food, the 80% whole nutrient-dense food and 20% fun food? Can you have control over that? Yes. Can you have control over whether you strength train or not? Yes. So the cool thing is, rather than focusing on the outcome, we can focus on the process, and we can focus on things that we absolutely can have control over in our day-to-day life. Because the truth is, it's the steps that we take that matter the most. And I want to remind you that it's what you do most of the time that is greater than what you do some of the time. So I'm not talking about being perfect. I want to give you a real life example. At the end of April, I began working with a coach. Even though I am a coach, I hired my own coach who helps me with my nutrition, who helps me with my strength training, and who also helps me with my business. And we began doing a comprehensive tracking system. I'd already been tracking like my weight and my calories through MyFitnessPal and that type of thing, but we took it and we put it into a spreadsheet so that I could see clearly what was happening each and every day. Now, the thing is, we can't get hung up on the things that are happening on a day-to-day basis. We have to look for trends over time. And so at the end of the month of May, we sat down and we looked at the data. And this is what we found. It was very, very interesting. In the month of May, there were 9 days that I went over my calorie target. There were 9 days that I was on my lower range of calories. So I eat a low range calorie day 4 days a week, and I eat a high calorie range day 3 days a week. And that's what I do for my clients as well, because it helps with adherence when we know that we can have higher and lower calorie days. But let's go back to that. I had 9 days completely over my calorie range, 9 days in the low range, and 13 days in the high range. I strength trained 16 days, and my steps, which I actually started tracking this last month, I wasn't even tracking, so I have no idea what my steps were. And my protein range was right within target every single day. At the end of May, I lost 1.6 pounds. That averages 2.4 pounds per week. Now, that's not a bad result, because weight loss, fat loss, when we're doing it in the way that I'm describing, really can be about 0.5 pound to 2 pounds a week. So I was a little below the lowest range, but still not a bad result at all. But when June rolled around, I decided to take that data, to take what I had been able to see, right? I had done all of this, and then I was able to look back and see, was there any place that I could make an improvement? Was there any place that I could take and maybe put a little bit more focus? And I would say yes, because we know that the number one thing in weight loss is calories. It just is. We have to eat less than our body needs. So I decided to make an awesome goal, a great goal, and a good goal. And I'm going to go into more of this in the blog post, but I decided that I was going to make my awesome goal that I would only go over my calorie range 1 day out of the month. I would make my great goal only going over 2 days in the whole month, and my good goal would be going over only 3 days out of the whole month, which that's way better, obviously, right, than the 9 days that I went over in May. Now, the reason I didn't make one of my goals as no days over is because we are not perfect people. And if we set ourselves up for perfection and expecting that, then we actually are doing a disservice to ourselves. We are looking for consistency, and we are looking for patience. And that's what I believe that my awesome, great, and good goal were setting me up to do. So we get to the end of June, and this was what the result was. I had only 2 days over my calorie range, so I hit my great goal. I had 21 days in my low range. I had 7 days in my high calorie range. I strength trained 16 times. I took on average 7,485 steps per day. Obviously, some were more and some were less, but I'd never done that before, so I really had no idea. I have been more intentional, though, on taking steps. And I made sure that I got my protein every day. I did hit my protein target every single day. So at the end of June, I had lost 5.4 pounds with an weekly average of 1.35 pounds per week. Now, I didn't lose 1.35 pounds each and every week. It happened in little spurts. But the trend over time says that I lost 1.35 pounds per week. Now, the result was what I would have expected based on the data and based on my process. And so I hope that encourages you, because Now, going forward into this next month, I looked at the data and I said, well, do I need to make any adjustments? Was I pleased with my result? Yes, I was. And now, do I believe there's always room for improvement? I do. Now, my place that I'm going to focus on improving is I'm going to make it a goal to increase my steps per day by about 500 as my average. But I'm going to still make my awesome goal, my great goal, and my good goal based on my calorie range and what I'm doing on my calories daily, because I can control that. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm eating 80% whole food and 20% fun food. And I will add that in June, when I lost the 5.4 pounds, I had birthday cake. It was our son's birthday. I had pizza. I had ice cream. I had wine. I had candy. I had all of those things, but they were within that 80-20 ratio. Because if we have to give up all the things that we love in order to lose weight, that is not a sustainable lifestyle for the rest of our life. So it was out of this experiment in my own life that I have created the 30-day best practices worksheet. I hope that you will go and pick it up. Again, on the blog, you can click on the orange button below the video. On YouTube, it's in the description box. And you can also go to emilyquisenberry.com/27. This worksheet is actually formatted for you to include the date, your weight, your calories, your protein, your strength training, and your steps. I'm going to put one caveat in here. If you struggle with the scale defining you or causing you to have a bad day based on what the number says, I'm going to encourage you to set the scale aside and not use that this month. I'm going to encourage you to put on a pair of pants that might be tight in your waist. I'm going to encourage you to take a couple of measurements, your waist, your hips, your arms, your thighs, someplace in all of those places would be good. And use that as your measurement as opposed to the scale, because we don't want to do something that's going to cause you more stress and more anxiety. Now, you may be wondering why I keep saying best practices, and there's actually going to be more about that in the blog post, but I have just found that the process that I am adhering to and I am following on a daily basis is something that I can control. And it's something that I can learn how to have patience with myself, kindness with myself, and give myself grace as I move through this without expecting perfection, but with looking at trends over time. And that is my hope for you. So I hope that you'll go and pick up the checklist. I also want to invite you to come join our free Facebook group. It's Women Living Healthy, Fit, and Strong for Good. We address our body, our soul, and our spirit so that we learn how to live freely and lightly in this area of food and our bodies. And you can join that at emilyquisenberry.com/free FB group. I truly hope this episode has been helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Be blessed.